Welcome to BeatzNEatz. I'm Chef Net, your wellness musician, aka Moonwater. Today we are making Crabby Shrimp Dip on toast. Just a nice little appetizer, something just to keep, what they say, tie you over. And our ingredients today are crab meat, mayo, dillweed, fresh garlic, you know I love garlic, salt, red onion, some multi-grain bread they're going to use as our toast, oil, shrimp, and some Old Bay seasoning. So ready for this? You ready to cook? Let's cook. So starting out, the only thing I'm going to prepare is my shrimp. The crab meat is already cooked. I bought it pre-cooked. You can always, if you feel like it, get some fresh crab and cook it, bake it, boil it, broil it, whatever you want to do to cook your crab, you can. But today I have already cooked crab meat that you can purchase at the store in a container. Let's get our pan ready for the shrimp that we are going to saute. And once I get these shrimp cooked and everything, and this garlic and this oil, I'm gonna put them on this cutting board and just chop them up. And also about the toast, I'm just gonna pop it in the oven. I have my oven preheated. I'm gonna pop it in the oven, let it toast, and get that nice little toast. Or you can put it in a toaster, it's up to you. If you're doing a big gathering or a group or a party or something, you know, you can just take your pieces and pop it in the oven and get that toast that you want. Oh, beforehand, I'm also going to season my shrimp with some Old Bay seasoning. Let's stir it up. Let's add the rest of it in there. You can use whatever seafood seasoning to your liking. If you want to make your own, you can do that. Run my oil around the pan again because I want all the shrimp sitting right on top. Spaced out. Oh, just that, when it just wafts up and I just get a whiff of that seasoning, and then I'm gonna add in my garlic. This is 2 cloves of garlic that I just sliced up. Add just a little bit more oil, especially where that garlic is, maybe in between. But it sucked all of my oil up. Those shrimp did. You know, shrimp, once it starts to curl, you want to flip it over. You don't want it to cook too long. I decided to add some shrimp to it just to give it another seafood aspect, and it was one of the best recipes that I have ever learned and adapted as my own. I get this request a lot. Hey, you gonna make some shrimp and crab dip? And I'm like, I guess. But then I wound up eating the majority of it, so I guess it's a win-win, right? And these are looking so beautiful. I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil to it. Just get a look at that, guys. That's shrimp. That's the shrimp. That's the shrimp. So delectable smelling, delectable. So my shrimp are done. I got one more that needs to kind of cook a little bit. But this is what we want. And when I combine everything, I want to add my oil, my garlic. I want to add all that loveliness into it. Let's get a look. Another look. I know I keep showing y'all. I just want y'all to see how beautiful the shrimp is. That's it. That's it. Few ingredients, all natural ingredients. You know, of course, this is store-bought. But, you know, you can make your own. It's so easy. So easy. So my shrimp is ready. I'm just gonna pull it off that heat. Just stir it around. And it's got a little browning on it too that it's the little things in life for me. It's the little things. So now I'm going to get these eats done. We're gonna put the beets. Speaking of beets, this beet tonight I call heroine. Heroine, not heroin, not heroin. Heroine, like a superhero. This beet it's addictive. It's like that Texas chopped and screwed. Okay, back to these eats. That beet, it's just, it's slow and it's chopped and it's screwed. It's just everything that you want in a beet. And we got everything we want in the eats. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get ready to chop up these shrimp. I'm just gonna put it right on my cutting board. Right onto my cutting board. Nothing fancy. It'll already be, I just want to taste one. I'm addicted to the shrimp. I'm addicted to the shrimp. Oh my God, I just want to eat the shrimp. So you're just gonna take a knife, just cut them up. Like I say, nothing fancy. Just get a nice chop on them. Like I say, this is great for parties, just to add to your menu. Very upscale. Nothing like a good shrimp and crab. Add this to my bowl. Add this all in. See, you don't have to be all fancy in the kitchen. You just use what you got. Use a knife to pick up the shrimp. It doesn't matter. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our next protein, which is our crab meat. And it's already in pieces, so I don't really have to do that much to it. Now, if I want, I can just go ahead and just give it a mash. But like I say, it's pretty much to the lump. And this is the jumbo lump crab meat. All right. Just gonna start adding this in on top. So that's what we're looking at right now. Crab meat in, and it's already cooked. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab all the rest of my oil and my garlic. Add the rest of that in. You get that all mixed up, that garlic and that oil and that crab and that shrimp. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just hit it with a little bit of salt because it still is seafood. The crab meat, I tasted it, doesn't have a lot of salt in it, which is good because you can add your own or you just add none if you don't want to, if you're watching your sodium intake. Just gonna hit it with just a little bit of table salt. But this is actually kosher salt, which doesn't have a really salty element to it. So just a couple dashes. And I'll taste it along the way to see if I need more. And then this is maybe a tablespoon and a half of red onions, diced up very fine. You don't want any big chunks. I mean, you could if that's your thing. But I like my red onions really finely chopped so it can, you know, blend well with the dip. I mean, the red onion just adds that punch. And then we're gonna add in our dried dillweed. And this is what you use, you know, if you're doing, it's just a nice little herb, dillweed. And I don't wanna add too much because it is kind of powerful. And you use this for like potato salads, or, you know, we use dill cubes. This is pretty much what's used in it. This is just the natural, unless you want to get some fresh dill, and by all means. And then we're gonna add in our mayo. Like, I don't want to get into a debate with y'all about who got the best mayo. I have my personal opinion about it, but mayonnaise is mayonnaise at the end of the day. But like I say, I ain't gonna get into a debate with y'all about who got the best mayonnaise. It's gonna get it, and I'm just gonna add that gradually because I don't want to over mayonnaise my pasta, not cooking pasta, my shrimp and crab dip. Because once you put the mayonnaise too much in, you can't take it back. I'd rather have it gradually added. And my shrimp is still kind of big, so we'll make it do what it do. Growing up, you know, my mother, she would make this crab dip, and, you know, she did use imitation, but it's still so delicious, and she put a cocktail sauce on it, and it was just delicioso. All right, so this is the consistency we have now. And you saw how much mayonnaise I put in there, so I just want to add some more to it. And if you don't want to use mayonnaise, you can use Italian dressing. You can use ranch dressing, or you can use a Greek yogurt. That would kind of be weird, but you still could do it if that's your thing. Or find you a good vegan mayonnaise. Or you could just mix it together and do what you want. You could bake this, you could put it in the oven, put some breadcrumbs on top, and maybe some cheese, add to it, make like a nice little cheesy dip. This is even better on the next day after it has sat in the refrigerator, and all these flavors and the dillweed and the onions and the salt and the Old Bay and all the garlic and oil has come together in one, oh my gosh, day two, and it's got a little chill on it. I like it warm too, but something about that second day is just magnifique. So what I'm doing next, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my bread for the oven. And I'm just gonna take, like I said, this is a multigrain bread. You can buy this in a store. So what I like to do is take a pizza cutter. Well, before I do that, I am going to add some oil to the insides of this bread. I'm just gonna brush it on. Just brush it on there. So that way when it toasts, it'll be nice and crispy. Then we put our dip on there. Just brush both sides of it. And you can see the multi-grain little pieces in it. This is something your kids could come in and help you do. Mom, let me come in here and brush the bread or brush the toast, and show them how to put it in the oven and let them be part of the whole thing. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of fresh garlic, just a whole clove, and I'm just gonna give it a rub. And what this does, it just gives that, you can use garlic powder, but if you have fresh, go for it. This is the closest thing to nature. This is nature. You can use butter for your bread also. I'll brush this one with a little bit more oil because I want the toast. Yep. And so then, depending on how many people you're cooking for, this will yield, one piece will yield 4 little pieces, little triangles. Because what I'll do is I'll take it and I will cut it with my pizza cutter. You want to do this before it goes into the oven, because once it comes out, it may just crack up and break. So I just try to do it before it goes in. You can heat it with all types of herbs, and you know, if you want to add some thyme to it, but today we're just going to do the garlic. And then put that thing on some aluminum foil. And we're gonna pop these in the oven for about 5 minutes. And after they come out, we're gonna plate it all up and get ready to taste this beautiful Crabby Shrimp Dip on toast. You ready to plate? Let's play.
Trying to be wise, you say that I'm your dad, but I know it's all rhymes, all rhymes. Trying to be wise, you say that I'm your dad, but I know it's all rhymes, all rhymes. Trying to be wise, you say that I'm your dad, but I know it's all rhymes, all rhymes. Trying to be what you say that I'm your dime, but I know it's alright.
So we're back and our Crabby Shrimp Dip on toast is done. It's ready. It's all plated up, just like an appetizer would be if you're serving it at your party, or if you're just serving for your family or serving for yourself. Make your plate pretty. You know, don't just throw something on the plate. Anywho, I digress. We are ready to taste this magnificent specimen of a dish. I tried not to eat one before I brought it back here, but you know, I was so close that it was gonna be one missing. So I'm just gonna grab one. Grab one right here. Yes, yes. It's got that toast on it. It's just, and this will fill you up, like, you know, not to the point where you're just full and you can't eat your main course, but this is something that's really good just to tie you over until dinner is done. But let's just taste it. Let's just taste it. Make sure I get some shrimp. You get that crunch from the bread. Okay, I'll be honest. I tasted a little bit of the dip before I even brought it out, but it's so good, you guys. The onion, the red onion just adds that life to it. It just brings it, escalates it. Now, the crab meat is just so tender, and the shrimp with that garlic and that oil and that Old Bay. I could probably literally eat this whole plate. Oh my gosh. It's got like a sweetness to it with the multigrain bread, and there's this little sweetness from that crab meat. My goodness gracious. And that dill, you taste the dill at the end, and it's just so pleasing. Seafood lovers, the Crabby Shrimp Dip on toast, multigrain bread. I'm just gonna go and devour the rest of these. Enjoy some beats.
What you say that I'm your dime, but I know it's alright, it's alright.